Live.
Yes, we are.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, I'm so excited. We're all here together finally.
Finally. It's been
Only
a long
two.
time.
Yeah, totally.
The
So,
Charm Sisters unite.
yeah, exactly. Long time in the making.
Yes.
So I thought we should talk about like how, you and I know each other, Ray, and how you met, Kristina, and then, how you decided that we needed to meet and all that. What do you think?
Oh, okay. I guess you're throwing this in my court. Okay. All right, let's go. Well, you both joined my group. I have a spiritual group. It's called Spiritual Beings. And I started the group so I could help other people learn how to use the gifts they're given. And I became friends with both Kristina and Dana, and in the process started helping them to learn, and we all became friends and kind of helped each other in different ways. We all have different gifts, so we help each other like sisters,
Exactly.
and the journey began.
What was
Take it
that?
away.
Like January of 2000, what, 14?
Yep, yep,
14, yeah. So it's
I
been
think
about a year and a
around that time. Yeah, around that time.
yep.
We've come a
So,
long way.
yes, we
yeah,
have. Yes, we
yeah.
have.
Whoever thought we'd be doing this?
Not
Not me.
I.
Not at
Ah,
all. Not at all. So, yeah. Anyway, Christina, you want to go ahead with, introducing yourself and
I'm
how you met
Kristina.
Ray?
I'm Kristina Michelle Womack. I'm on Facebook a lot. I also have a group. It's called Energetic Healing. And I'm also working with crystals, trying to get a little crystal business started. That's Christina's Pebble Portal. It's also on Facebook. Um, I've been with Dana and Rae for like we said, a year and a half now. And we all just kind of gravitated together. And it's become quite a very beneficial circle that we formed. Because I know I learned so much from Rae. Rae taught me first to believe in myself and spirit, that's elemental, fundamental in the process of doing any type of spiritual work, medium work, whatnot. You have to trust yourself and your own instincts and your intuition. Because if you trust it, it'll really help a lot.
You remember how nervous we were in the beginning when she wanted us to, go ahead
Oh
and
my
give it a
gosh,
whirl?
yes,
You two
oh, it's
drove
so
me nuts.
crazy.
Oh no, I'm not doing that. I can't do
Oh,
that. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you
I
can.
can't do
No,
that.
I really can't. I can't do that. I don't know
I
how. I don't
know.
know
That's
how.
why when I tell the story about Great Buffalo Man, I always tell everybody that I thought I was just going to like humor you for like 3 minutes and then go on with the rest of my day,
And it turned into
A whole
the
different
whole year.
A
thing.
whole different ball game.
Whole year.
For those of
Yeah.
you who don't know and haven't heard Dana's story about Great Buffalo Man, it's also Christina's story and my story. They were both actually seeing the same visions and doing a reading for me at the same time. I was the only one not seeing what those two were seeing, and come to find out, Great Buffalo Man is one of my spirit guides now, and we were together in a previous life when I was Lotus Blossom,
Oh,
and
yep.
so they brought him to me, and that really was the first time they did readings, but they did it together, which is really remarkable because I don't think I've ever heard of two people doing a reading for one person and really getting exactly the same visions.
And we did.
That was incredible.
It was totally incredible. I mean, I was like, wait, you see this too? Like, I'm not just like nuts right now. It was
Yeah,
great.
and I was the only one not seeing it. You both saw everything,
And it was
the good
the
and the
other
bad.
one, your
What?
friend. There was the
Oh,
other
my
one you
friend?
did.
George.
George.
Yeah,
George,
yeah.
yes, George. That
George.
was the one where I first went, what?
Yeah.
I can't
They
really be seeing it.
also,
That can't be right. I was like, no, this can't be right. There's no way I could be right about this. There's no way. Please tell me
exactly.
I'm not. Ah, no
See,
way.
but you have to trust. You just
I
have
know.
to trust everything.
That's the fundamental
Everything.
basis is trusting yourself.
Absolutely. By the way, George is a friend of mine who passed away a few years ago, and during the process of a reading, they brought up the details that led us to believe that that's who that was, and they were right on the money. And all they needed to do was trust themselves and say what they were thinking, and it was
Yeah,
that easy.
I never had any idea I could do that. Never even thought I would ever be able to do something like that. And what we were doing was medium work with her friend George. And I never thought I'd ever possibly do something like that. I could never have that kind of talent or that kind of gift. And I did. I was like, what? And she was like, you're right. As we went, we revealed, parts of the story that would be validation. And she was like, you're right on. Rae was like, you're right on. No way. You're just saying that to humor me, aren't you? That's what I thought. She was just humoring me. I was like, okay, who's humoring who at this point? But apparently not.
No, you guys were right on the money. You got it. And
Yeah. Oh, go
and
ahead.
it's funny that neither one of you really do medium readings. You do other things when that was such a strong point for you when
Well,
we had those conversations.
when I do readings, sometimes I will get a loved one come forward when I do just regular readings.
What, like your cards?
Yeah, or just
When you're using your tarot cards?
I don't really use cards too much anymore. If I
So how
do,
do you
I
do
use.
them?
If I do, I use. Here's my favorite deck.
A regular standard deck of cards is what you use?
Plain old playing cards. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like,
that's different.
what does this mean? What does this mean? I'm like, well, it means something different in every case. It's not going to be the same energy. So I just look at the card and I look at it and tell it to tell me what I'm supposed to know and go from there.
And you see, there's another validation how we all get our gifts so differently.
Mhm. And the intuition part is such a huge, huge part.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Your guides and angels, and they all give you the information. They put it right there in your head. You just have to trust that that's
Exactly.
what you're supposed to say. You
Yeah.
ask a question, it's answered. It's really as simple as that.
And I'm sorry I'm jumping around. I know it's probably making everybody nauseous, but I'm having to do this on my phone. But I forgot what I was going to say. That happens a lot.
Hate when that
to me.
happens.
To me, but I think I don't know. Can't remember what I was going to say. Totally went. Oh well.
Having a brain fart?
Apparently. I just come back.
That's okay. It just happened to me, like 20 minutes ago?
If it's important, I'll remember, right? Right.
There you go, absolutely.
Real pain trying to hold this. Okay. But yes, you just gotta. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. A lot of times, stuff will just pop out of my mouth, and I thought it was because I had a faulty filter. The filter that filters what goes through your brain and comes out your mouth. I just thought it was a faulty filter. But a lot of times, if I just kind of spit something out especially if it's hard. Because when you're doing readings, the information you get is not always what they want to hear, what your client wants to hear, or something pleasant. Sometimes you get unpleasant information. And it is our job as readers, as mediums, to take that information and try to deliver it in the best possible way to minimize the damage, minimize the impact, and minimize
You're exactly
everything.
right.
Yeah, and that's something I struggle with still, is telling people truth. And I know I shouldn't, but a lot of times I'll do lost pet. Actually, I helped Dana with her bird. I don't think I helped him get home, but I did know Tiki was still alive, and I kept getting signals from Tiki that he or she.
She.
Okay. I was getting signals that she was alive. But when I do the lost pet thing, sometimes the news is not always good. So learning how to break that has been I'm still working on that.
It's really a judgment call at that point. If someone is sick and you need to let them know, it's a judgment call how you're going to do it, how you're going to say it. You got to be really careful.
Yeah.
You don't want to come out and say, look, you got cancer or whatever. You don't want to be like that. If it's something rough like that, you just got to find the easiest way to say, go to the doctors, or whatever.
Or
But
maybe
there's a fine line between what should be said and what should not be said.
Very fine.
And the other part to that is none of us are ever 100% accurate. So God forbid you say something like you got 6 months to live,
No.
people, you laugh, but I have had, with teaching people how to do this, I've had them say, like, oh, one of your friends is going to die, and just be that blunt. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you just got to be careful when you're doing readings, when you're learning to do readings, and remember to have compassion for your client. And remember that I try to put myself in their shoes when I'm teaching them and when I'm doing readings.
Right.
If it's something really rough, how would I like it if somebody just came out and said, your friend's going to die? You can't. You got to use your better judgment, I guess.
All in the delivery. It's all in the delivery.
Yeah, absolutely.
You really have to, like you said, do it delicately and use good judgment, very good judgment.
That's a lesson for anybody out there who's learning how to be a medium or a psychic and hasn't come to one of us for lessons yet.
Yeah. Compassion and delivery. That's the hardest part. Delivery of bad news is no fun. No fun at all. But
even the good news, though, sometimes. You don't want to blow it for anybody. You don't want to say, oh, your boyfriend's going to pop.
Grandbaby. Who's pregnant?
Yeah. You got to be careful that way, too.
Yeah. And also, when I'm typing a lot, sometimes I'll do readings while I'm in chat with someone, like in a personal message. I've noticed that I have divine typos. I have typed out things that were typos, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. And she was like, oh, but you were right. That's his name. And I'm like, okay, go with that. Yeah.
That's how I started doing my readings, too. I've done them for years over the computer, and spirits take over all the time. I'll look back at the screen, and I wrote that? I didn't write that. I don't even remember thinking that. I know I didn't write that. So, yeah, They do take over the keyboard.
Right. Well, I wrote a poem, and I put it in my group. I might have put it in Spiritual Beings, too. I think I did. It was the chakra poem. And
yeah, you did.
I don't even write poetry. So I know that didn't come from me. I know that was not me. But the way it came to me, I guess you would say meditating. I don't meditate like normal people, whatever normal is. But I can't just sit there and, I can't do that. I just kind of state that. So that's my meditation. It's like,
Okay.
yeah.
Everybody, don't take tips on meditation.
Yeah,
Okay?
don't take from me. No. No, I'm not the one. But this was after I was like gotten up and laid back down, tried to go back to sleep. And I remember I was like laying horizontally, and I went to this place that I just call the place in between. It's like this place of, I don't know, Dana, have you and I discussed the space between? I don't think so. It's just, I don't know. Other people have said they've gone to similar places, but it's just like, it's almost like a vacuum, and it's like completely black, and it's like so loud, but it's dead quiet. It's like perfect chaos and perfect calm, perfect happy, perfect sad. It's just like everything, and it's polar opposite all at once. So it's kind of a lot, but I was doing the meditation, and I guess you call it meditation. I don't know what you call it, but I started hearing those words, and I was like, oh gosh, I got to remember this. But I remembered it with no problem. I didn't stumble on any words. It all came back like instant recall. So like I said, I know that was not me, because I am not good at writing poetry. Not at all.
Divine intervention.
Yep. Had to be. A lot of times when I write, I notice it doesn't even sound like me.
Yeah. And how about you, Dana?
Yeah, Dana.
How about me?
You're being awful quiet.
Well, I was listening, but I was thinking about the time when it was Kristina's first time to go ahead and do the reading after Great Buffalo Man and all of that. Do you remember, Kristina?
Which part? This was a lot of chapters in that.
I know there was, but it was when my dad actually came through.
Oh, yes. Oh, I remember that very well.
Do you remember, Rae?
Bits and pieces. Go into your story. I'll jump in.
Okay. Well, because I don't remember if you were seeing the same thing as she was seeing, but I remember he was being real difficult about telling you what his name was. Remember, he gave you 10 different names, right?
Yep. He wouldn't give me a name. And I remember his hat. He had a fedora on. And his shoes. Remember his shoes?
I do. Well, that's
the shoes. Yeah.
Oh, the shoes.
Yeah, the shoes.
I was seeing the shoes.
Okay, that's what I saw too.
Yeah.
But before that, didn't he roll out in some
Yes. Rolled up to a bar in a big he was totally gangster. Just complete.
I do remember.
Italian gangster.
You remember, right?
I am remembering. You got to remember, I've done a lot of readings in the last year and a half, so I'm trying to bring back all the details. As she's saying it, I'm remembering it. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Keep going so everybody else can hear too.
Yeah, he had the big cigar. He was wearing a fedora. Well, the shoes brown. I want to say they were brown Italian leather. But he was very proud of his shoes. He kept pointing to his shoes.
They were black wingtips, black and white.
Wingtips, that's
remember?
Right. Wingtips.
Yes.
Because you said wingtips, and because I said, wait a minute, are they black and white? And because that's what I saw were black and white man shoes, and you said yes, wingtips. So I had to Google wingtips.
Sidewalks or wingtips, yeah.
Because I didn't know, what the hell wingtips were. But I'm yes, that's them, that's them. Yeah. So go ahead.
Oh, let's see. Didn't we dance? Or did he dance? Or did he dance?
He was dancing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was dancing.
He was dancing.
Yeah, he was dancing with his little fedora on. He had his little cigar, and he had his nice big. Hi, kitty.
Another photo bomb.
He rolled up in a nice big car with a driver and tinted windows. I mean, it was a whole production. he really set this up really, really nicely for us. And he showed us a good time.
And didn't he start flirting with you?
Yeah. Not flirting, but just like.
I remember I was like, of course, that's of course he would do that.
Not flirting, just being very gentlemanly and very nice.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a fun reading. What are some of the other ones? Lorraine.
Yes, Lorraine. Oh my gosh.
Dana and I did that one together. Now, Rae, were you there when Lorraine came around?
I was not there for the reading, but I got the secondhand information right away, I believe.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Why don't you talk about it then, Kristina? Because remember, she showed you like a garden or something, like an herb garden and everything.
Oh yes. She had a little cottage. It looked like a little witch's cottage. It was very, very cute, very small. She had cats running around, and she had a little table set up in the garden, and she had tea, and nibblies, and we had tea, and let's see, she gave me the gift to you, which was the smoky quartz. Was it smoky quartz?
And how did she show you that again?
She had it wrapped in a handkerchief. It was a lace hanky, like a little Victorian, she's very Victorian.
Mm-hmm.
She's very, very Victorian. And so is her cottage. It's got a very Victorian feel. In the garden, there's lots of herbs, lots of lavender. It's just a typical witch's cottage in a witch's garden. And she had the crystal wrapped up in a little lace hanky. It was like a Victorian lace hanky. And I remember she pulled it out from somewhere, I don't know, from, I guess, a pocket or something, and she handed it out like this. And then she unwrapped it. And I was like, ooh, that's pretty. And she said, tell Dana that she needs to get one of these. And it was a smoky quartz. Or was it topaz?
No,
smoky
it was smoky quartz.
It's that big smoky quartz. Yep. So, and then one time.
And then the first time she came to me, she told me she wanted me to have that because my husband is an energy vampire.
Why don't you tell people what an energy vampire is? Because most people don't even know they are one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's nice to be aware.
Yeah.
Because he didn't do it on purpose, but because, being an alcoholic and stuff, that he had a way of taking literally my energy because, he would do things that were, unpredictable. So an energy vampire, though, is somebody who drains you, who takes your energy. It could happen like during arguments or literally when you're spending your energy, so focused on an individual other than yourself and what you should be doing.
Even when you're sleeping.
Even when you're sleeping, what?
You can get drained. I have.
You absolutely can. If you picked up any bad juju along the way, that's the first place they're going to come is your dreams. I don't mean to scare anybody.
Yeah.
But
or just your delta
that's
time.
why we learn protection when we do what we do.
Just during your delta time, too, you can get drained. I'm convinced that you can get drained by other physical beings that are attached to you. And you're vulnerable when you sleep, if you think about it.
That's why before you go to sleep, you should always ask your angels and guides to protect you with the highest white light energy, most divine energy possible, and to never, ever let any negative energy through, especially while you sleep.
Right.
I always
it's a very vulnerable time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And if you forget to ask, make sure when you do ask that you say like forever, just in case.
Right.
Cover all bases.
Sometimes I just fall asleep, and you want to make sure you're still protected.
Right.
So make
I
sure
just
they
set
know.
the intention. I try to remember
Yes,
at night,
absolutely.
but I've set the intention all day. I'll think about it. Oh, yeah, I need to do that. A lot is done with
Absolutely.
intent.
Yeah.
And I thought
That's
I thought
really
people were
everything.
crazy.
You thought who was crazy?
Everybody. I was like, intent? What's that? That's craziness. Don't nothing work like that. Everything works like that.
Everything
Everything.
works like that. It's all about the intent. When you do
Intent.
healing work, light
Mhm.
work, everything,
Readings.
medium, psychics, it's all about the intent. You have the intent to help people,
If you have good intent.
fill in the intent. Yeah. It should always be with good intent.
Mhm. Oh, absolutely. I'm a firm believer
Because
in
if
that.
it's bad intentions, well, that's going to come back and bite you.
I was going to say, that's not good for you.
Uh-huh. Don't ever put the bad juju out there because it'll come back tenfold.
Yep. So, Dana, tell us something good. We've been hogging the conversation.
Oh, well, actually, I was thinking about, remember how in the beginning when you would set up shop before you were going to do readings? Do you remember
For
that?
me? Me or
You.
Rae? Okay. Yeah, because we both had a way of doing it, yes. I think Rae was the one that taught us this.
I taught you to set up shop.
Yeah.
She never taught me to set up shop. I thought it was the coolest thing when you had told me about it, so I thought
I
maybe.
thought it was Rae that taught me that. Where did I learn that?
I don't know. I'd like to take credit for it, but I don't know because I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know where it came from.
I don't know.
It just,
Well, why don't you tell everybody what setting up shop is?
Dana, you want to do that?
Okay, well, you were the one who did it, but
Remind me. Tell me where I found that.
I don't know where you found it, but you were like, hold on, Dee, I gotta set up shop. And I'm like, set up shop? And you're like, yeah, in your mind, you create this,
I have
like
a little shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I remember now.
You remember that, right?
I do remember, but it wasn't me that taught you.
I didn't learn that from you?
I don't think so.
Weird. I don't know where it came from. But I had a little shop in my head that I would go to. Well, I don't go there as much anymore. I guess I should. But I'd go and I'd go upstairs. Now I don't even think about it. I just start reading people. But I would go up. I'd walk in. Like I guess this was kind of like my little meditation. Some people do a meditation previous to it, a reading. Well, this was my little meditation. So I'd go in, like I'd visualize myself walking down the road, click in my heels, and then I'd go and I'd open the door, and there was a bell on the door. So that was to let spirit know I was coming in. And then I would go, and on the top of my head, which is the top of the shop, I have a little door, and it opens like that. And I would go out, and I'd open the door, and then I'd go turn on my open sign so spirit could find me.
Okay, now I remember
the open sign.
the open sign coming from Rae, yes.
Yeah, I do use the open sign. Mine is like a neon light, I see.
Yes, mine is too. Yeah. It's red neon.
I don't ever close. I don't. In the beginning, I did.
Oh, I close.
I don't.
I close.
I never do.
Especially for sleep. When I'm done working, I'm done. It's time to not bother Rae. No more. I'm done with my reading. That's it. Close.
You're lucky.
No, because they don't listen. They flip the sign and they come anyway.
Yeah.
But
right.
That's what I'm saying.
Head, I'm close. I'm done.
In my head, I'm close. I mean, I have to tell them sometimes, guys, I'm really tired tonight. I'm not in the mood for this,
Especially when it's bedtime.
Show me tomorrow. I promise I'll meditate tomorrow. You can show me then.
Right.
I
promise I'll be back.
Yes. But sometimes they don't care anyway.
They don't like to listen.
No,
yeah, they don't care.
The purple will start swirling, and I'm like, no, I don't want to see.
See, and I don't see like that. I see them in my head.
I do too.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
I don't see anything out here other than I've seen shadows going by, but
Yeah, I've
never
seen some shadows.
a
This is
clear.
like my eyelids. My eyelids are like glasses for seeing. You know?
See, well, like when you close your eyes, that's when you see better. Because I've literally told people, hold on, let me close my eyes so I can see better. And then I'm like, well, that's
See, and
right.
I don't
Really,
close
really
my
stupid.
eyes. I look
Sometimes
away.
I
I'll
will if
focus
I need to look.
on the floor.
Yeah.
I almost never close my eyes when I'm doing a reading. I'll look away
I,
and I'll start staring off at something, but I don't close my eyes. I see better with them open. Isn't that
I
crazy?
will, like, if I need to focus in on something, sometimes I'll close just to, like, zoom in. I was trying to look at, Dana, was it you and I were trying to look at what was on a notebook or I think it was Lorraine. Didn't she have a family tree or something that she showed us? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I do remember
Okay.
that.
I
Yeah.
thought it was something we were looking at. We were trying to look at, because you kept telling me, well, look at the book and see what the name of the book is. I was like, well, I can't see. So sometimes in that situation, if I close my eyes, I can see better.
There you go. Again, we all get our gifts differently.
And like I know
Yeah,
what you mean because like I get it in my head too, like you know, but I also have these eyelids that just I can't stop that. It's just like
screen projectors.
yeah, and then
There are screens, and then you have your brain's the projector. Your pineal gland's the projector. I've actually heard it put like that before.
sounds good to me.
There you go.
and then
Flammable.
the physical stuff too. Then with the physical eyes, too. So, but yeah, so sometimes going to sleep is a real chore because you kind of need to shut your eyes to do that. So there were some
It works
times.
for me.
There were some times I was like, man, I'm never going to sleep normal again, from now on.
I sleep more normal now than I ever have. I guess finally knowing what's going on, I can relax. I never could before, so I don't know why all of a sudden I can sleep a little bit better, but I'm sorry.
I find my dreams are clearer and more memorable, longer, since my whole journey started.
Right. Mine are
For those
starting
of
to
you who
come
don't
back.
know, I've had my gifts my whole life. I didn't really, I've seen spirits, dealt with them my whole life, but I didn't know they were talking back to me until a couple of years ago. So that's what I mean about when I started this spiritual journey and started doing readings. Things become more clear once you realize you're open and you really start to delve into learning more about it and how to keep your vibration up so you can see into this other world. It's certainly a journey, and it's not always happy fun.
No.
Don't let anybody ever tell you you're just going to meditate and your third eye is going to pop open and you're going to be able to do readings, because
No.
it's a lot more than that. You have to shed a lot of negative energy when you do that. You may lose friends. You may lose relatives, husbands, wives. It's not always a picnic.
Remember,
And it's hard.
Remember, guys, how much I changed after in the beginning? And Kristina, you were concerned. You were like, D, you need to slow down. You quit smoking. You're giving up dogs. What's going on with you?
Giving up bunnies.
Yeah.
You were giving up everything. And that's not, I mean, it's good, but sometimes a gradual change. I know I'm better with gradual changes because a big sudden change will freak me out fast, But
in the spiritual world, well, the changes that come sometimes are radical and out of the blue.
Absolutely.
And you wonder what in the world is going on, but then a month later you look back and go, oh, okay, I get it. Now I get it. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't be able to do this now.
Right. That's when I say subtle change, I guess.
Gradual change is always nice. But
Yeah,
I think
but
in the spiritual world, it don't happen like that too often. You
it
usually get
doesn't.
smacked upside the head with it.
But I really haven't had anything really shock me. I don't know. Maybe it takes a little bit more to shock me. I don't know. Or I just kind of roll with it now. I don't know. I really haven't thought about it much. But one thing for sure is you have to do a lot. We need to be sure and touch on how important the self is. I know my mom can't stand it. She's very Catholic. And she says, all this, oh, you're your master and the self and everything's about you. And Mama, I don't talk to her about it because there's no point. But,
You two were like having
but
a whole
that's just
conversation that
selfish.
I'm not even hearing.
Do what?
What does this mean?
You're not hearing the
But
conversation, Dana?
Mom,
I'm not hearing you two at all.
Mom, what does this mean?
Kay's in the middle of a conversation. She was talking. You didn't hear her?
hello?
Uh-oh. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please
Testing.
stand by.
Please
Are you
stand
good,
by.
Dave?
We're having
Dane.
a fun. Please stand by.
Are you with us, Dave?
Now I am.
Okay.
Okay. She's
Okay.
back.
I lost
All
you
right.
guys for like 5 minutes.
Okay, there we go. All right, continue, Kay.
Oh.
Remember where you left off?
Mm, mm, mm. Self. The self.
Yes.
You really is self-mastery is a lot of it. You really have to master yourself before you can start manifesting other gifts. And I'm not saying I've mastered myself, oh gosh, no. But I've started the journey to do so. And when you start clearing spaces, you start making more space for gifts of energetic healing and readings and intuition. When you start shedding all those different layers that you have put up, all those walls that you built, it leaves you basically naked in the moonlight, you know? And
Well, that's one way to put it.
yeah, when you become clearer and you make space inside yourself and inside your brain and inside your energy, inside your heart space mainly. That's another thing is staying heart-centered. I always say, you know, connect your crown, your third eye, your throat, and your heart. So you always speak your truths, can sense, see, smell, taste, everything, your truths. So keep all those connected so you can always know the truth of your heart. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me.
I'm trying to make sense. The words may
And
not
you
be
have
there.
to learn to accept that we all have the dark side too.
Yes,
You have to have light and dark.
absolutely.
So
Well,
as long as you don't live in the darkness, there's balance. Make balance. We all have
be
it.
balanced.
That's a big part of it is to be
Well, the God
balanced
source,
and grounded.
the God source is all about balance. So, but yes, you have to embrace your shadows or your dark side or whatever you want to call it.
Did you guys?
You have to embrace it. Dana, is Dana frozen?
You don't have to love it. You just have to
Yeah.
embrace it.
Yeah, just
We
embrace
all
it.
have it.
Know that it's there. I'm fine with it. You know, I'm good with my shadow side. It was there all along. It was there before the light side. You know, so I'm pretty okay with it.
But a lot of people need to understand that we all have it, no matter how perfect your neighbor next door looks and how sweet and innocent they look. They have the dark side too. They just don't let it show, you know? And it's hard for some people to deal with. Most people to deal with.
Sorry.
So to find balance and learn to accept the dark and the light is the best place to start.
And live with it. And
live with it.
And function in this third dimension of paradigm. Function with this meat suit that we're having to deal with. And once you become aware of everything. Like, this meat suit heavy. Or, having to do this is such a pain. You know, just like little stuff I find annoying, you know? Just stuff that I know that we don't deal with on other planes. So it's just hard to deal with that. That's the hardest part, is dealing with this third dimension and the density of it. It's so heavy. Everything's so heavy.
But you have to be grateful for all of it too, because it's all lessons for your soul to evolve, even the bad stuff.
Sure. Oh yeah, I'm all about that.
Not always fun.
And you know, even when I was, that's what we were discussing. It's not always fun. Spirit's not always fun. It can be a drag sometimes. But yeah, forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, what were we talking about? Something annoy us? I can go on all day about that.
Life annoyances.
Gratitude. Gratitude is another subject we do need to touch on. Gratitude is a huge part. What was it? Vibration, intention, gratitude. All the things that I was like, oh, that's insane. None of that would ever work. It all works. That's what it all runs on. So
that's what people need to hear. It bugs me when people say, oh, I can't do that. You know, it's not going to work for me. Yeah, it is.
If you want it to, it will.
If you put the effort in and don't give up, it will work.
Right.
It's not a bunch of hooey. The karma thing is not a bunch of hooey. What you put out into the universe is what you're going to get back, good or bad. If you put ugly out into the universe, that's just what you're going to get back. If you put love out into the universe, that's what you're going to get back. So it's not a bunch of hooey. You just have to do it. And meditation, I know, Kay. Don't listen to Kay about meditation.
Please don't. I'm not your Rae is the Rae and Dana are your meditation coaches for this course.
I'm fanatical about make sure you meditate. Because it clears out all the negative energy you picked up along the way during the day, and it really helps you focus and be clearer with your visions and what you want to do spiritually or even in your day-to-day life. So don't listen to Kay.
Right,
Kay has her own little way.
Yeah, don't listen to me. But you know what? You have to
make it your way.
Right.
You don't have
excuses. Your own way. Right.
Yeah.
That was because that was always a good excuse for me. But I figured out I do it just a little bit different than everybody. I like put on music and sit there and just kind of beg. But I will say, and Rae, you'll be very proud, I have been mentoring this younger person. And I know,
mentoring who? Wait.
Mentoring. Well, somebody asked me, okay, let me retract that statement. Somebody asked me, it wasn't my idea. And that was even their word. They asked if I would mentor them. So don't come to me about it. Anyway, shut up, Dana. Just shut up. But they're really good about meditation. So
what did I miss here? I just missed something.
Dana laughing at me. I will hang up. I think I won't.
Okay, wait. Who are you mentoring? Wait, let's get back to it.
You keep freezing on me.
To what?
In your pictures are cracking me.
Do what?
She said something keeps freezing. I guess your picture keeps freezing.
Oh, okay. My picture keeps freezing. Well, ours is frozen.
I think she's freezing now.
If she is, I think it's her computer, because mine's not frozen up. Not once. Since I got off my computer. I'm on my phone.
I think we got her back now.
I don't know why, but you guys, I missed, the last 10 minutes.
Oh.
Well, you'll have to watch it when we're done.
I know. I'm wondering how it's going to record,
It's recording for us.
If I can't see us recording, I hope so,
Oh, I don't know.
Mine says it's recording. It's live.
Yeah, it's been saying live.
If it's live, then it's recording, right?
She'll be okay. Okay, so
I hope
back
so.
to your mentoring. Who are you mentoring?
It's a younger person from
Okay.
somewhere else. Let's just say that. But we'll do. I don't want to blow any names.
No,
But
I'm not asking for names. I'm asking for the story.
okay. Young 18-year-old asked me if I would help them. Teach them a little bit. Just spend time with them. Basically, he said mentor, but we just kind of talk. But he has me doing meditations with him, and what we'll do is we'll connect energies. And we've had some really strange experiences. Like, well, not strange, but I gotta tell y'all, I haven't I haven't talked to y'all in so long. I got so much to tell y'all. Um, One day we were with a friend of his, and it was the brother, the little brother, and the little sister, all three of them. And then I was with the person I've been working with. He was with them, and I was here at home. Different state, different city, whole nine. And so we connect energy. And all of a sudden, I'm just sitting there, like, listening to music, vegging out, enjoying everybody's energy. And the next thing I know, there was a throat around my neck. There was a throat around my neck. There was a hand around my neck, and I was being thrown, like, slammed on the floor. And somebody was sitting on me, touching me like this. And I'm like, what's going on? So I mentioned it when we finished. I was like, does this mean anything to anyone? And the older brother got on and said, yes, it does. One of the members of that family had witnessed, one, if not all, I'm not sure, had witnessed a member of their family being choked and slammed down on the floor, just like I had been. And we weren't sure. I'm not entirely sure who reached out, whose energy reached out, but basically their energy just reached out, grabbed me, and said, hey, I've got to show you something. And that's how it happens. It'll just grab you and say, I've got to show you something. So you kind of got to be on tip. You got to be waiting for that curveball that might come, because I was not expecting to be choke slammed.
Yeah.
So I ended up, a choke slam on the floor, and turned out I was right. It had a point of connection.
Everything happens for a reason.
Right. And what it is, and I mean, I know this now. Well, I knew it then, but people don't always listen when you talk spirit. And that's another thing about readings. Ooh, I've had some people, I want a reading. And then when you start the reading, they're like, no, that's not it. I'm like, okay, well, why did I waste my time?
Oh, we're not even going to go there, okay? Because Rae, yeah. We're just
Look, like I said, none of us are ever 100% correct.
Well, we can't be. We're not
But
computers.
when I'm doing my readings, I know when they're beating me over the head with it, there's a reason for them to get me to say something. So if you don't want to believe what I'm telling you, that's on you. But I know when I'm doing my work, my readings are good. Take it as you will. If you don't like what I have to say, don't blame me. Blame your loved ones. And people also need to understand that it may not be your loved ones that show up at all. It could be a guardian angel. It could be one of your guides. It could be Joe Schmo who's living in your house because it was his house before it was your house. It's not necessarily only going to be your loved ones that come through. Whether you know these people or not, you need to trust your reader. Whoever you've gone to for the reading, you need to trust them that whatever they're telling you
and be ready.
Is correct.
Be ready for the and be ready for the curveballs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I mean, I was just meditating with these kids. I didn't expect to be choke slammed. Whoa.
And for people who are thinking of meditating, this does not always happen, but asking your angels to protect you at all times is always a good idea. Because when you're in meditation, you're also, that's a vulnerable
Very
spot to be in.
vulnerable. Yeah.
It's like sleeping. So always just ask for protection either way.
Or you can even visualize yourself, in a white light, what do we say? A
White
bubble of
bubble.
white light.
Divine
Yeah.
white light.
Yeah. Or well, let me close my eyes so I can see. Here, I'll put you there, Rae. Now, did we ever attune Rae?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if she's
So-
worked with it.
What do you
though,
mean? Did you zap me? Have
You're,
you
you're-
attuned me? It's
you're
been a
Reiki.
long time. No. You zapped me a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't think I got it. I didn't get an attunement though.
you did get an attunement.
Well,
You
I'm
just-
doing? No, I didn't. She just zapped me.
No.
No,
I
remember
didn't.
when we first were doing this?
Yes, I
Oh, you
remember
did?
that.
Yeah,
I wanted to
when
bring
we
that
were
up,
first
too.
doing it, yes, I would smack Dana in the third eye with energy. That was so much fun.
We would
Kay
throw
likes
it back and forth to each other, different colors, and I did all this. I swirled it around, and then I wrapped it in this color, and then I. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
It was great.
I tell you, my little friend that I meditate with, that works with me, or whatever you want to call it, we work together. He actually figured out how to do remote viewing. Because he asked me one day, he said, "Is your cat there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Is your floor tile or wood?" And I said, "No, it's tile, but if you were using remote viewing, you probably wouldn't know that because you can't really tell." So I was like, wow. So I tested him one day. I said, "Well, okay, what do you see?" And usually I'm inside at the computer, right? Well, at this moment, I just happened to be outside. And I was looking out. I live on a bayou in Louisiana. And I was looking out at the bayou, and it's just all green. And I said, "What color do you see?" And he said, "Green." I was like, wow, this kid's good. So there really is something to it. I mean, people might call it hooey or whatever, but if that's your opinion, that's fine. But I know what I've experienced. And I know I've said things to people, and they're like, "How did you know that?" I'm like, "Well, didn't you ask for
that's
a
what I
psychic
do.
reading? Didn't you want a reading? Did you not want to talk to mommy? What's the deal?"
I love
But
that
yeah.
question too. How did you know? Well,
How do you know that? Well, I asked.
that's my job.
I asked.
My guides and angels, that's how.
Mhm. Or direct
Divine
contact
intervention.
with that person, just like
Yeah.
or the energy of that person, like getting the choke slam. I mean, just their energy of the image that they saw. That I guess it was the traumatic experience, and I think they were saying that the younger one had witnessed it, and they were saying, "Oh, well, it must have been her," but I think it was all three of them dealing with this bruise, and they were like, "Oh, well, it wasn't me. Oh, it's not me," but they all knew what was happening. That really made no sense, did it?
Yeah, it does
Can
make
you hear?
sense.
Dana, can you hear? I don't think she can hear.
I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay.
For a while,
Okay.
I was doing readings for people from Ireland. I had done one for one person, and it snowballed into I've read for half the country right now. And most of them are related or friends, and there's two spirits that have come through for almost all of them, both ironically named JoJo. And all these people know both JoJos, and they have come to me so many times. Nah, they're like part of my family now, and I know the story because that's what they've shown me. And I think that's amazing. That's the most incredible thing, to be able to share with a whole family that their loved ones are okay. And for me, it wasn't all at once, which is kind of weird too. Most spirits don't come back, time after time, but at least, I want to say at least 20 or 30 of them have had these two spirits come through.
Wow,
And because
that's
of,
crazy.
it is crazy, but it's because they're loved that much by these
Right.
people.
Their energy keeps
And they
bringing their
love
energy
them
back.
so much. And their deaths were unexpected, and so things just happen in weird ways. And if you're getting a reading, and you just really have to go with it and
You really
believe
do.
and
You really
believe.
do. And trust. You gotta trust. You gotta trust your reader or yourself. If you're the reader, if you show a hint of lowered self-confidence, you will tip your own self. I mean, you'll throw your own self out of the game fast.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
People also need to
Yeah.
know that they can block us from doing our job too.
Yes.
Any negative energy can block the process. If you
Big time.
come to me and ask me to tell you the name of the person sitting next to you so that you know I'm for real, that's going to put the kibosh right on it, because now you really
You've
upset
already.
me, because I'm going to
Yep.
tell you right off the bat I'm not psychic. I can't tell you who's sitting next to you. So if you don't believe me, then you don't need to come to me in the first place. Don't do that to your reader. Don't say something stupid like that. Like, tell me
That's
who's
gonna knock
sitting
them off
next to me.
hit. That's gonna knock
It's
them
out of
straight
my
off hit.
range. It's not me. I
Yeah.
don't do that kind of thing. And I always make it clear before I even start. I'm not a psychic. I'm a medium. Don't ask me the lottery numbers either. That's the other dumbest question you could ask, because if I could get away with it and I had the damn lottery numbers, I'd use them before I give them out to anybody. How about that?
Right.
Of course. Of course.
That's it's hard because I've had a lot of people ask about finances, and I really don't even like to discuss finances. I feel like they're very personal, and they're like, "Well, am I going to get this settlement? Am I going to get this?" And I'm like, you know what? A lot of times, and I hate to be like this, but a lot of times, Spirit doesn't really want to talk about money. Ray, do you have that?
Because that's not in the greater good of why
No,
we're
it's not.
here. We're
Okay,
not
so
put here to be rich and
one
famous.
that right. I'm not the only one that gets that.
No,
'Cause
absolutely.
I thought I was the only one, because anything about money, like about personal gain, that's it, personal gain. Anything about personal gain, I don't even like to talk about too much. I just really, but people will ask, well, when am I going to get my settlement? When am I going to get this? When am I going to get? I'm like, get, people, get. You know, what about what Spirit has to say? Because that's what's more important.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, yes, money is important. We all need it, and I don't have any.
But if you have faith, you will always have
be
enough
rich.
to get by.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you don't need to be a millionaire. We're not put here to be millionaires and be rich and famous. We're put here to learn lessons for our souls to evolve. That's the whole thing. And to love and to teach people love.
And a lot of times,
That's it. It's as simple as that.
It doesn't involve money most of the time. 90% of the time, it's not going to involve your paycheck. It's just going to involve your heart.
And when I say have faith, I don't necessarily mean have faith in religion. If you do have faith in religion, that's fine. I'm not condoning it, condemning it. Whatever you believe, have faith that things will work out. If you believe in God, that's wonderful. If you don't, at least have faith that you have angels and guides and the universe to support you. There is support. Believe in something. Have faith in something.
Right.
You'd be kind of miserable if you didn't believe in anything, for goodness sake. And if you didn't believe in anything, why are you here watching our video right now?
Right. Gotcha. But you know what's funny is even atheists believe in something. They believe there's no God. So you got to believe in something.
There you go.
But
there you go.
Yeah. It has a lot to do. You really can get by a lot on faith. And also, your own mind is your own worst enemy. I'm here to tell you. Kristina is the worst demon I ever fought. She was a bitch, let me tell you. But after I got that one under control, you know, it was pretty easy to get the other ones. But yeah, don't be the blockage to your own self journey, your own self-awareness. Don't block your own self-awareness, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Don't set yourself up for a fall.
Don't be your own worst enemy. Don't stand in your own way.
I think we lost her.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no. Well, I guess that might be our cue.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess
We can
that
at
was
least
our chat.
we can stop our broadcast and then we can chit chat for a few if you want to.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming.
Yes.
And we hope to see you again soon.
So happy that we finally got to do this all together finally, and maybe we'll do it again, you know.
Absolutely.
So, Rae, you want to tell them your website where they can go ahead and
we'll put it down the bottom. It's a little long, so we'll put it down on the bottom of the page.
Okay. Sounds good.
Or you can go to Spiritual Beings on Facebook and find us there, or find me there.
Yes, you can.
Or you find Dana and Kristina there too.
Where it all started. Come on over. It's where all the cool kids are.
Enjoy it. I see it. Thanks for coming.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.